Greetings, welcome back to another video. This time around we are moving on to the second half of easy maps as we are tackling the Lotus Island. So this one is kind of regarded as the hardest easy map. At least it is one of the hardest for sure. So let's just dive in and see what the fuss is about. And well, you can observe something immediately, and that is that it is an island and the balloons are going to loop around the island. And naturally, once you're dealing with an island, there's going to be a lot of water space and there's going to be less space for our towers. And the challenge from this map comes from the fact that you're just unable, you don't have like a great spot to cover a huge portion of the map. So what ends up happening is that you have less options, and you also have like these flowers that you can't see past as well. So there's a few things to look out for on the map, but it's not going to be particularly difficult, especially because I am going to be using something I usually use when dealing with these kind of maps, and I'm a bit lazy. We're just going to go for the classic heli pilot strategy. So there we go. It's going to be great fun as we go for the Apache Prime once more, because of course we are. I just cannot help myself. This is a perfect Apache Prime map. Just a beautiful, beautiful long line, and it pretty much removes the challenge of the map. So, but yeah, it is definitely one of the trickier easy maps. There's no question about that. But yeah, we're gonna be saving up for the heli thing. The heli. Let's see if we can get that in time. I think we can, but I think I can save up for it by just from here, by not doing anything. I think sod is strong enough to get every balloon, especially because of this little bend here. Kind of takes care of everything. There we go. Yellows. $13 for the ability. It's not necessary. Okay, perfect. Okay, we have to use the ability. Let's see though. Okay. Perfect. One more thing about this map is that you're going to be noticing these orange things on these flowers, and you could use that to slow things down on the map. So that is kind of a neat feature. That's actually something you need to, or you should be doing eventually. So okay, I'll just plop the heli down. There you go. And you know the drill by now. It's just to place it down and get the pursuit as fast as possible. Pursuit still need like $1,300 to get there. Okay, we can get quad darts first. There you go. Just place it down here. And here's pursuit. And there we go. Perfect. And the next thing we need to be getting is lead popping power. So we're going to be getting that as well. Very soon. As soon as we can. The razor rotors, so we can take care of round 28 and 30. Just want to make sure we don't do anything stupid. We do have the sod ability, of course, but you don't want to rely on that for too long. So we are gonna upgrade that, and the faster darts and faster firing. It's gonna be perfect. Get that out of the way. And yeah, from there it's just not too much to say. It's gonna be smooth sailing as we upgrade to Apache, Jar Chip, and Prime afterwards. Of course, you can throw in a village there with camera detection. You can throw in an Alk if you need it. I'll try to afford an Impale, but I'm not sure if it's actually possible, or I'm not quite sure about the money, to be honest. But I'll place an Impale here, because one of the new things about this new update that's kind of massive is the fact that the Ice Monkey can be placed on water, which is crazy. That opens the door to plenty of new strategies, especially because since you can place the Ice Monkey on water, it becomes a water tower effectively, meaning that you could use Brickell's buff to buff the ice tower. which is pretty neat. Kind of an obvious change when you think about it, but it took them this long to implement it, like 50 updates, and here we go. But pretty fun change. So I'm gonna place this here, just because, and yeah, I'm gonna be getting the first path here. It's important because that allows you to pop lead balloons, because we want the ice tower to pop. I gotta pay a little bit of attention here. Oh shoot. Yeah, whatever. I didn't pay attention at all here, because I'm talking too much about the beautiful ice tower. But okay. I'll place it down still. But okay, let's just get the camo out of the way, so I don't lose because I'm being an absolute idiot, which I am right now. But I'm talking about this ice tower here, which, well, kind of an obvious thing when you think about it, but it took them this long to upgrade it, so there we go. Pretty fun change though. So I'll probably use that at some point. Maybe maybe the Spice Island map. It's probably, you don't have too many water maps, and Water Park is, it's kind of a water map, but not really. Kind of an annoying map too, by the way, but that is much later down the line. Right, let's get that, just to be safe. And yeah, just keep saving. Keep saving up for the Apache dart ship. Might as well grab the jungle drums as well. Shoot even faster. But yeah, a lot of savings. A lot of savings involved, as per usual. But yeah, you gotta be careful whenever you do any of these, like, maps. It's just that you need to know exactly, or sort of having a rough estimate on when you deal with leads, and when you deal with camo, and when you deal with purples, and whatever. So you are prepared, and you make sure that you have actually covered those basic needs. So yeah, since I'm just talking a lot during these videos, I sometimes just completely forget what the hell I'm doing. And to get like basic upgrades and such. It happens all the time. It's happened in like 5 videos where I just randomly die. But I can't believe that the leaping sword was that bad though. Like it lasted for 5 seconds literally. It was so stupid. Probably could have used that flower or something. But it doesn't matter. As I've said before, it's better that I make the mistakes than you do. So here we got round 49. No, it looks scary, but there's nothing to be afraid of. And that should be enough for the dart ship. Perfect. Now things are gonna be even smoother than before, and we just need to save up for the prime, which I think we get in the 80s. If I'm not mistaken. May want to MIB for the prime, but I don't think it's necessary. You could get that though. Yeah, should I get to Crag Cannon yet? I don't think so. Just deal with all the Impale stuff later on. I think I should just 100% focus on the prime. It's not gonna do sufficient damage for it to be worth it. Could get the Impale first. That's of course an option, but probably better to just save up for the highest damaging tower, but also the most expensive one though. Like when you combine the prime and the dart ship, it's like 60k, like 70k pretty much. So it is quite the pricey tower, but we will have enough for the Impale. I mean, we literally did Ray of Doom earlier, so if we can afford the Ray of Doom, we certainly can afford the prime as well as the Impale. Speaking of which, I have to do the Flying Fortress at some point as well. Probably will do that in conjunction with Rosalia at some point, but gotta find the right map for it, I guess. So here's the BFB. Completely destroyed, of course. So yeah, nothing is gonna get past us for a while. That's for sure. And again, what makes this strategy strong, just so you are aware, because you may be thinking this is always a good idea, it's definitely not always going to work out, but it's going to work out on a lot of maps. So whenever you have a single lane, then and the map is quite long as well, then it is going to be a good idea to do so, because the prime is going to keep attacking constantly. Like, you have a tower that's constantly attacking, it's obviously going to be very strong. Usually you don't have the luxury of that. Like, the tower has quite a limited range, and once it's out of range, it's no longer attacking, right? But the Apache prime is attacking all the time. The same, kind of the same advantage with the airplane and the sniper, is that they can always hit, no matter where the balloons are on the map, which makes for some great strategy. But I feel like I'm stating the obvious though. Like, if you have 4 cross paths, naturally the helipilot is not going to be the greatest addition, but the helipilot can help, but you would need to set up like patrol points and such, and you would need to have more than one. It is I think you use that strategy on quad to bring out the helipilot at some point, but I haven't studied that map for quite some time, since the very first time I did an expert map on the channel, and the video is like an hour long too. It's a pretty bad, it's a crazy run. It is a CHIMPS guide who is a very strong, very great player. In chess you say like a very strong player, but I don't think that makes too much sense with Bloons, but he is at least a very solid BTD6 player, but his guides can be a little bit tough to understand. Like, there's so much, I just am unable to follow it most of the time. So, but I did his old school guide on quad, so that was great. But we're not quite there yet. That is gonna be one of the last videos we do. But anyway, 73 prime. Oh, we soon got it actually. That's sooner than expected. We will be getting it before round 80. So that's pretty neat. That's pretty good. Okay. I forget that these pets, I think the snowman is what's making that sound. I have pet sounds on, I believe. Yeah, pet sounds right there. I'm glad you can turn that off, but I'll keep it on for a bit. It's not that annoying. Alright, so here we are. EFBs. Around 75. Can we get there soon enough? Can we get there soon, please? Okay, 76 is nice and quick. Almost there. Okay, well, we should get it in the beginning of 78, I guess. Maybe we'll get it before that. Okay, okay. Perfect. So now everything is going to be completely destroyed. And I'm just going to let that Apache Prime go to town. We don't need an Alk buff just yet, but we could get that later. Gonna get the Cry Cannon though. We're gonna start working on the Impale, which is excellent for DDTs. As long as you have the first path, by the way, the top path, very important because it pops lead. And also camo, but lead is like the big deal, because you could always add like a village, it's not such a big deal. But the fact that it pops lead is what led me to say that the top path is the most important thing, because naturally you need to pop lead in order to pop the DDT. So if not, you would have to get the MIB, which would be quite annoying. So quite crucial to get that top half right there. So 32k for the Impale. The Impale is really strong against DDTs, specifically because what it does is to slow everything down. So the DDTs get way slower, so naturally that is, it becomes like a Moab at that point. Like, it just doesn't do any damage. Like, it's not a big deal, and that means it's smooth sailing pretty much. Alright, so I'm gonna get that Impale. I may buff that Impale a little bit too with the village, but not until we have actually bought it though. Okay, it's 83. It's so easy. This strategy is just so trivial. It's very simple. Because of the heli pilot, you don't really have much of an issue. Like, as long as you have the camo village, you're just popping everything very easily. Without any effort at all. On the right maps, of course. And that should be the Impale by 85. You get so much money in these rounds, it's crazy. There's the Impale. And as you can see, things are getting quite a lot slower. And that's extremely useful. So let's buff the Impale a little bit. Get the Jungle Drum. Not at all important, but I feel like doing it. You know, gotta give the Impale some power. Why not? I'm gonna go all the way here, the primary. Gonna get the primary mentoring as well. I probably could have gotten a discount village, but it's not important. We have more than enough money, so it's not like every penny counts. Quite far from it. So now it has a very solid amount of range. Let's see how the DDTs are doing. No problem at all. As you can see, the DDT is just frozen. They're not getting anywhere. 91. Get the alt buff. Just make sure we don't buff Soda. I guess we could. It's not the end of the world if we do. There we go. Now we could get the alt buff for the Prime. There we go. And that's it. So the map is interesting, but never been one of my favorites. I've always had like dislike for this map, but with the right strategy, it's of course quite trivial. So here's 95. Let's see. Always interesting. See that? So DDTs, but they're not getting anywhere. As you can see, the Impale is just extremely solid. Very good. 96. We may have enough for the primer expertise. That's cool, I guess. I think we will definitely have enough after a 98. Not needed though. Not gonna spend any more money, but it does buff the Impale a little bit more. But the bad is not an issue because of the Prime. It was a lot of damage, a lot of Moab damage in general. So that is no problem. So here's 98. Easily taken care of. Not even close. This is how far they're getting. They're not even getting past the bend. It's crazy. So here's 99. Another simple round. And here is 100 at the very end. And how far can the bad get? Okay, the bad's past the bend. Let's see, can it get past the second bend? And let's see. Ooh, no! Crap. That is horrible. What the hell happened? Alright. I forgot the most basic lesson in the book. You do sort of need to get the MIB for the DDT, for the Prime. Although you do buy lead, it's for some reason it's only a part of the heli pilot, I believe. So the actual shots do not shoot DDTs for some reason. I think that's the reason why. And you pop the lead with the rotors. I think that's how it works. Kind of a funny way to end. Not what I was hoping for, but good thing to note. Something that I completely forgot about, actually. Like I thought it was right, or I had it somewhere in the back of my mind, but didn't think it was a big deal because the other maps with this strat were so easy. But that's something to keep in mind, that in order to use the Prime to its most effect, you need to get the You need to get the MIB. You can get unlucky with the Alchemist and stuff, so... yeah, just like I was here. So, and the DDT is so fast that the Helot Pilot is not fast enough to catch up to it, too. It's just very, very stupid. But anyway, that is it for Lotus Island. So we are making rounds here, you could say. Hope you guys enjoy this one. 2 mistakes on my part as well. They do happen. Only human. And I don't think it's worth to, you know, go back and re-record and stuff just because it's technically a def and not a black border. I don't really care that much, you know. It's just to show you how it's done. Things aren't serious just yet, you know. And hopefully you guys feel the same way. But if you don't, well, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just doing this for fun anyway. But that is it for Lotus Island, though. So, thanks for watching. And I will see you soon, which I guess is in Candy Falls. And we are really getting through these. So the second half here of easy maps before it's time to dive into the intermediate ones. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in Candy Falls, which, by the way, is one of the ugliest maps in the game, just by design. Well, take care and see you next time.